My name's Amata, and in this Red Gaming Tech video I am here with a little bit of an update about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now there has been an absolute ton of information coming out surrounding this game. There's been a whole load of controversy and more comments from EA and DICE and so on. I did discuss the fact that originally it took 40 hours to unlock a single hero like Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader. That has since been lowered by 75%, but the first thing I actually want to discuss is the fact that the rewards have also been lowered as well. User by the name of Stevivore tweeted about this, basically saying that the final reward for completing the campaign has been reduced to 5,000 credits, and originally you were going to get 20,000 credits for completing the campaign. So essentially, yes, the costs of the heroes has been reduced by 75%, but you also get a hell of a lot less for completing the campaign, meaning that you still have quite the grind on your hands to unlock these heroes. And obviously, this isn't even touching on the fact that this game is still really pay to win. I mean, that is the real thing. Like, the loot, the microtransactions, the loot crates, and all the controversy surrounding how long it takes to unlock everything is really bad. I'm not trying to say it's not, it is. But it's also bad that while they have made the pay-to-win elements less terrible, they are very much still there. Let's not get distracted from that point. As much as EA would love for us to get distracted by all this, let's not forget that it is still pay-to-win. And it is still really grindy, despite the fact that they have lowered the cost of the heroes. So it's hard to say exactly how long it's going to take to unlock, but we do actually have some calculations based upon a detailed breakdown on swtorstrategies.com, so Star Wars Tour Strategies to be exact, as I said. So basically they have posted a very detailed breakdown of exactly how long they have calculated it will take to unlock everything in the game. And according to this person's estimates, and again it is this person's estimates, so do take this with a pinch of salt, but even if you add a margin for error in there, this is still looking really bad, because according to them, it will take roughly 4,528 hours of gameplay, or $2,100 to unlock all the content in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So let me repeat that. 4,528 hours or $2,100. That is insane. So to have to pay basically what is more than some people's monthly wage to unlock all the content in Star Wars Battlefront 2, like, that should speak for itself. I shouldn't need to quantify why that is literally the worst thing in gaming right now. I'm being a touch hyperbolic, but it is really bad. Like, though that doesn't even feel like enough of an accurate description. This is beyond terrible. But before we get too ranty, let's dial it back and go through how they actually reached this conclusion, because that is important. So they began their calculations assuming that you already have all the star cards in the game leveled up to level 3, and any one-time rewards like challenges do not factor into this, as that is actually how they are presuming you've gotten all the cards to level 3 to begin with. And he says, quote, cards from loot crates are assumed to be level 1 55% of the time, level 2 40% of the time, and level 3 5% of the time. Duplicate credit values are assumed to be 200 for level 1, 400 for level 2, and 600 for level 3. This makes the average card level 1.5 and the average duplicate worth 300 credits. Loot crates are assumed to provide an average of 2 cards. Crafting parts are assumed to average 50. This makes the value of a crate, once you have every card in the game, worth 600 credits and 50 crafting parts. The credits are accounted for by reducing the cost of hero crates from 2,200 to 1,600. Now, I will provide a link to this breakdown in the description below this video, because it is very detailed. I'm not going to go through his entire process in this video, but there is one thing I want to touch on. He does break down the cost for each of the different classes and the vehicles. So just for example, there are 17 for each of the 4 trooper classes, meaning 68 cards total, and you'll need 32,640 crafting parts to actually fully upgrade them, meaning that you'll need around 653 loot crates, which is 950 hours of gameplay, or 238 hours per class. And to unlock everything, you're going to need to open roughly 3,111 loot crates, which will cost you 248,880 crystals, which of course is the premium currency in the game. So assuming, like, you know, you're buying them in the most expensive pack, which obviously gives you the best quote-unquote value for money, that it comes to that insane figure of 2,100. Now, as I already said, this is just one player's calculations, and unfortunately, despite the fact that there was an AMA on Reddit the other day, DICE did not confirm or deny these figures, which is really unhelpful. Unsurprisingly, in that AMA, they dodged all the hard questions. But I don't think anyone really expected anything less, really. It's just an extra shit sprinkle on this lovely cake of despair that we got going on. And as I said at the beginning of this explanation, this player is not obviously counting how long it takes you to upgrade star cards to their maximum level. So you probably want to actually add on hours to his calculations. And even if margin of error, blah, 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 it's still pretty bad. Now, as I said, they did take part in a AMA on the Star Wars Battlefront 2 subreddit. And I'm going to link that in the description below. So, and there's a very helpful post right at the top where there's actually some answers to some interesting questions, that sort of thing. And the very first link that you should see, that is actually questions and answers, is on how long progression takes by the user WazDice. And that is obviously one of the DICE guys, but the question asker was CheeseCreator74, and they basically asked, how long is it going to take to actually unlock all this stuff? And they just dodged the question entirely. And I'm going to read out the response because it's amazing. It says, quote, "We've seen the speculation about how long it takes players to earn things, but our averages based on the play first trial are much faster than what's out there. But as more players come in, that could change. We're committed to making the progression a fun experience for all our players. Nothing should feel unattainable. And if it does, we'll do what it takes to make sure it's both fun and achievable. Blah, 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 blah." So, yeah, they did not answer the question. And if you actually click on the meaningful questions that they've linked at the top, that a lot of people were wanting to ask, you will find the questions either ignored or just dodged entirely. And one thing I do want to quickly point out from this AMA, because I could actually do a whole video on the AMA and just destroy it and grind it into fine atoms with my rage, but I won't do that. What I want to do is just draw attention to something that made me almost projectile vomit. Despite the fact that they were dodging any meaningful questions, they did address the inclusion of microtransactions in general, and of course this phrase had to come up. It's about player choice. Ugh. Okay, the exact quote, because obviously that they didn't make that noise. I mean, maybe they did, I don't know. But they said, quote, "They're there for player choice, but won't be a requirement to play or succeed at the game, and like everything else, we'll continue tweaking and tuning, blah, 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 blah." So, oh yes, player choice. It's about player choice, guys, whether or not you want to play over 4,000 hours or cough up $2,100 to unlock all the content in this $60 game. Oh yes, player choice about whether or not you want to cough up money for loot boxes so you don't get screwed over by someone who has better stuff than you. Oh yes, player choice. Get done. Ugh, I hate that line more than anything. The last thing I want to discuss in this video is some more recent comments from EA. Now, you may have seen the news that the gambling authority in Belgium is actually investigating both Battlefront 2 and Overwatch to determine if their loot box systems actually constitute gambling. Spoiler alert, yes they do. But EA has actually responded, and they said to GameSpot, quote, "The crate mechanics in Star Wars Battlefront 2 are not gambling." Oh, that's a good one. Oh, wait, you're serious? Oh, wow. Okay. I'll give you the statement in full, though. It says, quote, "Creating a fair and fun game experience is critical of importance to EA. The crate mechanics of Star Wars Battlefront 2 are not gambling. A player's ability to succeed in the game is not dependent on purchasing crates." Okay. "Players can also own crates through playing the game, not spending any money at all. Once obtained, players are always guaranteed to receive content that could be used in the game." I'm sorry, but it is gambling. A loot crate is the definition of gambling. Like, hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to literally Google the definition of gambling, okay? Gambling is the wagering of money or something of value on an event with an uncertain outcome with the primary intent of winning money or material goods. Now, ignoring the cases like CSGO and selling skins and all of that other stuff, I don't see how you can argue that it's not gambling. The item that you get in the loot box is a quote-unquote material good. Yes, it might not be something you can hold in your hands, but it still is a good, especially in Star Wars Battlefront 2's case, because it actually affects the game. At least in Overwatch's case, you can argue, oh, it's purely cosmetic, it literally has no impact. But in Battlefront 2, they can't even make that argument because it's pay to win as balls, as I already said. So it's like the material good you're getting is a chance at an advantage over other players. So I just don't see how they can say it's not gambling. I'm sorry, but it is. Loot crates are gambling, as far as I'm concerned. They're not like as bad as, say, putting your life savings on poker, but it still is gambling. If I put a pound coin in the slot machine, they're technically gambling in the same way that the person who's lost their home and become destitute because they have a gambling problem does gambling. They're both gambling. One may be worse than the other, but they're still gambling, right? The low amount of the prize or whatever is irrelevant. You're still gambling your money away, and you might not get what you want, and you might not get anything of value. Like if I buy an Overwatch loot crate and all I get is voice skins and sprays, did I want any of that shit? No. I wanted that badass new Zenyatta skin or whatever. Did I get it? No. So therefore I gambled and I lost. So, just saying, it's gambling. If you want to buy them, that's cool, but it's gambling. That's all I'm saying. So, as far as I can tell, that's all the new bits about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 black hole controversy that's been going on. I wouldn't be surprised to see more coming out in the next few days, but yeah, that's been done for now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.